Alrighty, everybody. Welcome back to the Talker Game podcast. We are here in season 3 with the 2024-2025 NFL season. We have myself, your host, creator of the show, and we have Geff, co-host from the last previous years. And now we have a new person, ugly little face in the middle, at least in the middle of my screen.
On the left side. So.
We got a Bears fan that is joining the podcast. Everybody, please welcome Wase Siddiqui, a good friend of ours. And
let's go.
I don't think we've ever had a clap on this podcast.
I don't think we've been loud enough.
I know.
Yeah.
Turn on the volume real quick. Oh, don't wake my son.
So, resident Bears fan has now joined us, Wase Siddiqui. We will let Wase introduce himself, talk his game. The floor is yours.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me on. Try to here's to bring some juice, maybe. I've been following the podcast for a couple years now, and been a big fan. And now just excited to shoot the shit with you guys. I don't smoke hookah the way you guys do on your videos, but I got my vape. So. Oh, you guys are not? Oh,
no, we are. We're being health conscious. We're getting a little bit older. You got to take care of the lungs a little bit.
No. Yeah.
Too much for
that, but nice. Yeah, I was excited, man. I'm excited to join. I mean, I was trying to get ready for everything today. I put a Bears freaking blanket behind me, but you can't even see it. I wore my nice shirt. I even pressed it today. I ironed it. And for some reason, I shaved my pubes. I don't even know why I shaved my fucking pubes. It's like one of those situations. I was like, oh, what if? Back in the day, if you ever go out and you sell teeny bopper things, I always felt like I had to shave my shit down there, and I don't know why I felt the need to do that over here, but just in case.
I'm glad we make you feel that way.
Miracle of editing is amazing.
That's exactly what he did. He did the miracle of editing. He did not keep the cut. So since you are a resident Bears fan, what are your takes for the Bears this year? Since we will be talking a lot about the Bengals and Cowboys, so we're going to throw in your Bears. So get all your hot takes. We know you're excited about Caleb Williams. The draft, the draft has been phenomenal for you guys in the past couple of years, except for maybe the last quarterback. But you get the number one quarterback. You get Caleb Williams. How do you feel?
I feel good. I mean, I think we should build Ryan Poles' statue or GM. I've been a big fan of his for the longest time. Oh, yes, a GM. I don't even care if we've been 10-24 the last 2 seasons, 3 seasons. I don't give a damn.
He has built a statue?
He built a goddamn statue for landing Caleb Williams and trading with the Panthers for the number 1 overall pick, or the I guess the predicted number 1 overall pick. I mean, that was a masterclass by him. He's had some of his letdown trades, like the trade for Chase Claypool, which we don't talk about. We kind of removed that from his resume, but and we traded the number 32 pick for Chase Claypool, so it kind of sucks that we traded basically our first rounder for him. Yes. But other than that, I mean, I've evolved from being a meathead Bears fan to it's our year and we're gonna, I see the schedule and I'm like, oh, we're 12-4, 12-5 now, whatever. I'm more level-headed now. I predicted them to be 7-10 last year, and I was right on the mark with that one. I have them at 8 or 9 wins right now. Still trying to be level-headed. Still year one of Caleb. The pro game and college are very, very different. He is exciting, and there's a lot of good chatter about him. I watched him at training camp when I went this past week, or not past week, a couple weeks ago. He looks good. Biggest thing for him is can he play in structure consistently? He has those wild plays always, we've seen all over Twitter waves, and seeing that Owen pass to Ramadunze that's off platform going left, that shit was so nice. I was like, oh my god. But I'm trying to keep a level head. He's not a timing quarterback. I mean, even though he can play in structure, this offense is going to be different for him. It's not Lincoln Riley's air raid system. It's definitely timing, a lot more IQ involved. And from what we've seen in reports, he's been doing pretty well. So excited about that, and excited honestly to build for the rest of the next couple of years. I told you guys before off this podcast that 2026 we're going to be champions, and then 2027 we're going to repeat. I still stick to that. And so after next year's draft, I'm back to being a meatball, and I'll be insufferable.
I don't think you'll never be insufferable. the moment they start winning and they have like a 2-game win streak, I know you're going to jump back into being classic.
No.
Yeah.
Dude, I have him starting. No, I have him starting 1-3, and then after 8, I have him going 4-4, and then after 12, I have him going 6-6. So I'm pretty level-headed right now. But if we beat Houston week 2, oh my god, yeah, you're never gonna hear the end of it. You're never gonna hear the end of it. If we beat CJ Stroud on Sunday Night Football,
that'd be a huge win. Be a huge.
I need my own show after that.
No. Already need my own show.
Yeah. Going to the moon.
Going to the moon. So we have on here Kev, who hasn't been the biggest fan of Caleb Williams. Not to say he dislikes him, but he doesn't am I correct to say you don't believe in him right now, year one?
I'm always wary of a West Coast quarterback from the Pac-12, which I guess is now the Big Ten. And yeah, I don't know. I don't see anything. I see like where the media hypes him up. And I'll talk about that later as far as how I feel about ESPN and all these outlets always overhyping these players. But, he comes from a very friendly, offense where he's meant to shine, and comes from a very lackluster conference where defense is probably behind special teams as far as priorities go. So the NFL is a different beast. So, I mean, I openly admit it. If I'm wrong about it, I'll be the first one to admit it. But right now, I just don't see the intangibles. You're not going to be able to roll left and throw it down the field 50 yards every single game, because then you're going to meet something called cover 2, which Joe Burrow learned very quickly his second year. So,
but those Ohio State quarterbacks, they're whack.
He's from LSU. Okay, yeah. I'm from Ohio State. I know that. I'll let him be an LSU quarterback. CJ Stroud's also an Ohio State quarterback too. So.
Yeah, I know. We got CJ Stroud. There's one finally that came out of Ohio State, but I feel like the game is so different. Bro, that's man. We had to go there. I mean, we didn't say this about Justin Herbert. We didn't say this about what's another great quarterback that came out of the
Trevor Lawrence,
the Pac-12. Oh no, Trevor Lawrence is SEC.
That's right. I'm just thinking
Tua. Yeah. Oh no, Tua came out of Alabama.
Alabama,
yeah. All the college.
Mahomes came out of Air Raid too, but it wasn't West Coast.
Yeah, doesn't matter. The offense is what matters.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I just don't see it right now.
What do you need to see for him to be like, oh, you know what, solid guy? This guy, Caleb Williams,
great
top 3 quarterback in the league, supplants just Joe Burrow for the top 3 position in all of the NFL.
If he comes up in the NFC North as the number 2 quarterback behind Jordan Love, or even better than Jordan Love, then I'll admit it.
Jordan Love?
Yeah, that's all he needs to. I'm sorry. Hey, dude, Jordan Love got the bang.
Bro. He got paid for 8 games of good football. 6, realistically, 6 games of good football.
But that's the NFL now.
That's
the NFL though. Now it's literally you just have to have a small little run, because backup QBs or finding a QB free agency is almost impossible. Fucking Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, like you're not going to be able to find a decent quarterback in free agency. So yeah, you sign mid quarterbacks now, unfortunately. But Jordan Love, I don't think is mid whatsoever. I think he's actually
okay.
Even your argument though of 8 games, going back to what Kev was saying, quarterbacks, like teams are giving rookie quarterbacks way more opportunities than they did in the past. I mean, Daniel Jones is going on year 5 or whatever, right? So if you see a spark from a quarterback like Jordan Love, more than willing to give him that contract. And then Green Bay doing what Green Bay has always done.
$55 million. Again, $55 million.
Green Bay doing what Green Bay's always done, develop their quarterback before the veteran leaves, knowing what they have. And $55 million after a couple of years is not going to look that bad when Mahomes' contract goes into the $60 million and stuff like that. So it's not a
So this
bad.
conversation we're having, I'm a Bears fan. It's very fucking sacrilegious. I don't fucking care about the goddamn Packers. I've endured 30 years. I had to see Brett Favre whoop our ass. I had to see Aaron Rodgers beat our ass. No, I'm not gonna take you with Jordan Love. If that happens, if we don't beat the Packers this year, I'm not gonna denounce my fan. I'll be really sad.
I think the other side to that is that you finally have a quarterback in Caleb Williams where you feel like you have a dog on the other side. Whereas when it was Rodgers and Favre, I mean, no offense to Jay Cutler and the other quarterbacks that came from, compared to going up against Aaron Rodgers, you have more of a fighting chance with Aaron Rodgers than Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler was that guy. No Jay Cutler finder on this pod. Certain games.
Yeah. But again, you have a Heisman Trophy candidate. You have the number 1 pick, Caleb Williams. I do agree with you that I think I'm not going to say 2026 is their year, but I think that's when Caleb will develop. And if Caleb develops the correct way, he will be, a top 5 quarterback by 2026.
But yeah, I agree with you. Level-headed.
Okay. So we got the Caleb Williams talk out of the way because that's what I wanted to do because I knew Kip, isn't too high on Caleb Williams. Since we are Bengals fans,
probably like Jaden Daniels,
and that's me, dude. Why you gotta hate on Jaden Daniels? I think Jaden Daniels is gonna have a great year and be just as good as Caleb. Anyways, quarterbacks aside, what we'll do is we'll have a segment during when the season starts going through all the rookie quarterbacks because we had 7, I believe, taken in the first round, and it is a huge talking point. It's something that on this podcast I have talked about plenty of times, saying teams should invest in a first to third round quarterback. It's okay if you have a quarterback on the roster already. So I think with that being said, we'll continue the quarterback talk as the season progresses. To wrap up Wase's introduction, since you're sitting with a Bengals fan and a Cowboys fan, and we have given you our opinions on certain topics with the Bears with Caleb, we would like you to give us your opinions on how our teams are going to do this season.
Well, I can start with the Cowboys because the Cowboys are my second team. I'm a Dallas native. Lived there for a year. Been a Cowboys fan since 2007. The Cowboys' apathy this year is for real. And despite having what seems like a great draft, I think that you just want to see more from Jerry and the team to shore up some positions, more so running back. Maybe taking a shot at a receiver somewhere in this draft that was super loaded and, not retooling at that. I think that's kind of was a bummer, hard to get excited about. Other than that, I think Mike Zimmer's a great pickup. I thought that was my candidate for them to pick up when Denton left. I didn't know he was leaving. I didn't know he was in the running for that Washington job. So I like Mike Zimmer. I like the double A gap blitz. I watched it a lot when he was with the Vikings. I think they signed Eric Hendricks and DeMarvion Overshown. Yeah. I don't know if he's a great blitzer, but I think he can wreak some havoc as a Mike. Biggest thing is how do they play Micah in this defense? I know traditionally it's been four linemen down defense. From what I watched, Micah was great in the Dan Quinn system because he operated as that Leo position.
Yep.
So now just got to see. Micah's still going to be Micah. Maybe they just rush him in the double A gap now, be part of that double A gap look. But I'm excited. I think they have the right pieces on defense. They're still going to be dominant on defense. Offensively, Dak is an all-pro. He's a top 10 quarterback in the league. So I have him sweeping the Eagles. I think the Eagles are trash. I think Jalen Hurts is whack. So, I'm excited for the Cowboys. Not as excited as I used to be. It just kind of sucks that they had the best roster for the past 2 years and their top 3 roster in football and only have one playoff win to show for it. But, I'm excited for them.
I think you probably, as a Cowboys fan, hit everything that was my kind of check box or whatever. I was a big Overshown fan even last year when I talked about it. Fortunately, he got hurt, so I'm hyped to see him back. I think he's a heat-seeking missile. Defensively, like you said, Zimmer is just a plug-in guy. You don't lose a step bringing in Mike Zimmer. I think Micah is going to get a lot more rush percentages and rush rates. So that'll help out. Obviously, the big part is losing Deron Bland out for probably 8 weeks. So the only sad part is you don't get to see Diggs and Bland 100% healthy at the same time, which I think that would be really, really fun to see. So even with that Bland injury, I'm not too scared about the defense. I am worried about the offense, only in terms of that we'll probably have 2 rookie offensive linemen starting, Tyler Guyton and
They've been looking good, though.
They are solid. And so that goes back to what you were talking about in the beginning, where you were kind of a little hoping for a draft pick of a wide receiver or a running back or something like that, something flashy. And I get that. But this was a classic Cowboys. I feel like every 3 years we do this. We just go offensive line heavy and keep churning out offensive linemen. We're the machine for that. So I'm okay with it, right? So we'll see how it goes. I have the apathy. I'm jaded. I've told Kev this before. At this point, 12-5, 3 years in a row, we're a little spoiled. But this is the life of a Cowboys fan. It's playoff success is what we need. So yeah, we'll see. I'm not as excited as I was in the years past, but I will say this: I think with the offensive line struggles, the way Dak Prescott played last year, as big of a critic as I am of Dak Prescott, having an MVP caliber season last year, and if that translates to this year, that's cooking with gas. So if you can catch lightning in a bottle and Dak stays healthy and the O-line stays healthy, there's potential. We'll just really got to
get that contract signed, because if he has another year like he did last year, which I honestly anticipate that he will, he's going to cost like $60 million, and you kind of don't want that. So
yeah, that's the risk Jerry Jones is willing to play. And at this point, I'm okay with it. Just because eventually you're going to have to get to this conversation at some point with Dak Prescott. If it has to be pulled the trigger sooner than later, I'm willing to eat that. And if he doesn't do as well as last year and he goes to a team like Seattle in the offseason or somewhere else that might fit his play style or whatever it may be, and he does better or just as good, I wouldn't hate it. Like I'd be happy for Dak. I think some of the media scrutiny that he's dealt with, again, I'm a big Dak hater, and I still think some of the stuff he has to deal with in Dallas, in Dallas isn't unfair or is unfair. So let's see what happens. This is a very, very scary time to be a Cowboys fan. That's the best way I can describe it.
Honestly, with the draft picks that they have next year, and I mean, Micah's only looming contract, Dak is already accounted for $40 million of next year's cap. They have the cap to sign everybody. So I honestly, Jerry, despite him only wanting to be relevant and not really wanting to win, it seems like, they're always going to be relevant, and that's always great. So I mean, take it from a Bears fan who's only seen 8 playoff appearances in 25 years. You're in heaven. I would trade my life with yours. That's why I'm a Cowboys fan.
I think that's why I can't talk football with like outside fans that aren't like the Patriots or like the Steelers or something like that. People that just are always in the playoffs, always have success. It sounds like a dick thing to say, but it's like also you guys, those teams have more success in the playoffs. Like I can't talk to a Chiefs fan. They're going to be like, well, yeah, we at least make it to the Super Bowl. So I just want to make it to an NFC Championship game. That's my hope. And I would feel a lot better. I don't care who's the quarterback. I don't care how we get there. Just get me there.
2014, man. That was a year.
That was
done.
That was.
It was a catch. It was a catch.
And then let's go to the AFC side of
maybe
the field with KF's Bengals.
I like the Bengals. I mean, I think it's kind of controversial if you say that Joe Burrow is a top 2 quarterback for some reason. Like everyone's like on this Josh Allen hype. Top 2, yes, absolutely.
No, I'm just.
Joe Burrow is second.
I don't think it's controversial to say he's top 2.
People
I think you can debate Josh Allen, Lamar, whoever you want to feel. Obviously, we know Mahomes is 1, right? So you
Lamar's
can debate
like
Joe
7.
Burrow there.
It was like
all your preference. I'm actually surprised people debate Joe Burrow. Actually, I shouldn't be surprised. We had some.
I'm not. I can fully admit I understand the reason for not putting him in top 2. He's injury prone. Yeah. How can you justify having an injury prone QB as top 2? You have to be available to be top 2. I put him in the top 5.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
I think
but I will say elite Joe Burrow when he's healthy. Yeah, sure. Throw him in that argument.
Yeah, they don't call Burrowhead for no reason, man.
Yeah,
I hate that. All of us.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say if Joe Burrow is healthy, he's a top 5 quarterback. And then I don't think it's unfair to argue top 2 if he is healthy. Yeah. We're all Joe Burrow fans here. Outside of Burrow.
Yeah, I love Joe.
Continue outside of the Bengals and Joe Burrow.
Outside of Joe, I mean, like, they have, obviously contract situations looming for them as well, too. I think Jamar's going to need to sign. T might not, and, you got to find a way to replace him. I think they did a great job with Jermaine Burton. I love Jermaine Burton coming in the draft, and he's a perfect Tyler Boyd replacement. Zach Moss and Chase Brown, I feel like they're just there to get by for right now. Next year's draft with running backs is going to be electric, so I definitely see Cowboys, the Bears, Bengals all looking for elite running backs next year. Outside of that, I mean, the defense. You guys lost Chidobe Awuzie.
DJ Reader in the middle.
DJ Reader. Oh yeah. And then Miles Murphy didn't show anything from last year. I mean, he was still a raw prospect as it was. He's still very, very young too. I think he's only 20 years old or something like that. I mean, Trey Hendrickson had a great year, and I see him trying to capitalize on that great year, but he can't defend the run for shit. So that's why he's not worth that extension, I think. But they're still a good team. I mean, do you guys turn out like third round tackles, third round defensive players like it's nothing. Like freaking DJ Reader was a third round pick, I believe. Or was he a second round pick? I forget. But
we didn't pick him up. We got him from Houston actually. So I don't know when they picked him up. Yeah.
So Sam Hubbard, third round pick from Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
Larry Ogunjobi, third rounder. Like you guys just churn these guys, and they have one great season, and then you guys toss them away after they leave. I'm a goofus defense. And honestly, I feel like Lou's still riding off that 2021 playoff run. I don't think he's that great. I think he's good. I don't think he's that great. Let's see. Who's the cornerback that they picked up not last year? Was it last year?
We have Dax Hill. We have the other guy from Michigan. I'm forgetting his name.
Mike Hilton, Dax Hill, Von Bell,
CTB.
You drafted Josh Newton. You have Jordan Battle in the secondary, and Dejon Anthony and DJ Turner.
Yeah, so
DJ Turner. There you go, DJ Turner. I like DJ Turner a lot. I liked him last year a lot. I think he plays primarily in the nickel, and I had a high grade on him in the nickel. So, I mean, they draft well, and they develop well. I mean, they have good coach. Not offensively, they don't have great coaching. I think Joe Burrow transcends Zach Taylor. But the defense is always going to stay good. I mean, what's his name? Joseph Osai. I mean, he had a boneheaded, play that kind of destroyed
against Mahomes. Yeah,
chances. Yeah, I mean, he shouldn't have hit the quarterback. But I mean, you guys always find a way. That's the GOAT right there. You don't talk about the GOAT that way. You don't talk. He's a bad man. You don't talk about.
He is. It's just he's getting the Tom Brady treatment and loves it. So. But you know what? When you're the number one QB in the league, of course you get that treatment. So
yeah. I mean, he's transcended. He's Michael Jordan of football.
Well, maybe he can teach his brother to be a lot better of a person. Maybe his wife too. Back everybody this season. I'm unhinged this season. I don't care. I really don't care. Say what I want.
Have you seen his little? His twin Dylan Raiola from?
Yeah.
Dude's good. Yeah. I don't blame him for copying it.
I love the comment section. It's like, yo, you ain't slick, Patrick. We know it's you.
Legit, and like the throwing style, everything just looks like Pat. I mean, which is cool, but he's Matthew Stafford's godson apparently.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that. Yeah,
it's a good,
great fucking godfather to have.
Sorry. All right, so wrapping up Wase's introduction. Final thoughts for your, whether you want to say as the Bears, the NFL season, on your thoughts on what you want to cause fucking shit on in this podcast, like whatever.
Honestly, man, I'm just excited for football. I am so excited for football. It's been the longest offseason of my life. Caleb hype is real. Everyone's waiting for it. Everyone just wants to watch him play a real game. None of this preseason crap. But I'm a Bears fan first. Obviously, I feel like I watch them more. Like when I'm watching the Bears, I don't watch anybody else. So that's just how I am. I have to catch up on everyone else on all 22 or whatever the case is. So I got my NFL Premium account, got all 22 access, got my Red Zone access. So I'll be watching that whenever the Bears aren't on, and then watching the Cowboys right after that. So
nice. Excited. With that being said, we are going to move into our next segment. And I hate calling it segments, but our next part of the podcast. So to introduce the season, we're going to do our power rankings. So these are going to take into encompass off-season moves, trades, injuries, XYZ, coaching staff, whatever it may be. We're going to give you our top 5 power rankings, reasoning why, XYZ. And then obviously, if you've been a fan of the show and you've listened, KF and I always have changed our power rankings. KF goes more on his feels and emotions and what he thinks internally, and I go by my eyes and stats and go that way. And now introducing Wase, we'll have Wase's power rankings week by week. Wase can go on whatever which way tangent he goes. If he thinks the Bears are number 1 every week, he can put the Bears at number 1 every week.
Hamza will love that.
I just might.
Yes. So with that being said, is there a preference on who goes first for the power rankings?
Ladies first, so Wase can go.
Oh.
No, newbie first.
Yeah.
Newbie first. Okay. We'll do it.
No, you can take those digs, man. You don't gotta do the newbie stuff. Let's say I shaved my pubes just for this situation. Come on. I was getting a little scared, a little nervous, a little shy. So we're doing top 5 teams?
Just top 5 teams and reasonings why.
Ooh, okay. I'm going to start with number 5. Okay. My Dallas Cowboys.
My
Dallas Cowboys. Shout out Skip. My Dallas Cowboys. Honestly, despite being apathetic towards the Cowboys, they still have one of the best rosters. I believe in Cooper Beebe. I believe in Tyler Guyton to replace Tyler Biadasz, or after his name. I believe Guyton to replace Tyron Smith. When I saw Guyton like stonewall Micah Parsons in training camp, I was like, dog.
He's a big dude.
Did Jerry do it again?
Yeah.
So I'm excited for them. I think still, like, they lost a couple offensive lineman pieces, and sure, they lost Tony Pollard. But how much of it is like Tony Pollard being a product of like a great offensive line that it is like him being a great running back, So I believe in Rico Dowdell. He's on my fantasy team. I'm a dynasty league. I believe in Rico.
Dowdell, yes.
I don't think Dowdell. I don't think that we're gonna see a big drop off in the run game. I think that if they do, they'll trade for somebody. A dream trade for me would be like, the Cowboys call the Bears for Khalil Herbert and be like, hey, we need a good, solid inside zone runner. Here's a 5th or 4th round pick. And I'll be like, done deal. Works for me. So the Cowboys, with everything on defense, Marshawn Nealon I like a lot. I think they're still going to be a great defense. It's still going to be a great offense. They're my number 5 team.
Okay.
Number 4. It pains me to say this, because I fucking can't stand them and their fans. And my cousin is a big fan of this team, and I can't stand that motherfucker too. With the Detroit Lions. Ooh, and honestly, I should put them at 5 just because I want them to be last, even though they're a top 5 team. God, man, it burns me to say this because especially if this is like fucking advertised across different states, I'm gonna be so damn mad. But yeah, the Detroit Lions, man, they DJ Reader is coming off of a torn quad, but they made signings that always just make sense. Kevin Zeitler for guard to replace Jonah Jackson, great freaking signing. DJ Reader, obviously great. Like, they needed help in the interior. Got DJ Reader, who was, I think, per PFF, like one of the top nose tackles in the game last year. And then they added Marcus Davenport, who I think is meh. Like, he can't stay healthy. I think a couple of years, like his last year in New Orleans, he was like a pressure machine, but he's not a big sack artist, and he can't ever stay healthy. But like, you have Aiden Hutchinson on the other side. You have some of the top. You have three of the top three of the 25 and under players on that team. Panay Sewell,
Yep.
Aiden Hutchinson, what's his name? Panay, Aiden, and then what's the other dude's name, man? Amon-Ra St. Brown. There you go. And then now you're adding Laporta to that. Second year of Laporta. Jahmyr Gibbs, who I liked a lot last year. Their offensive line is so damn good, and their trenches aren't bad either.
Mm-hmm.
God damn, you gotta give it to those fucking Lions, man. Those Detroit pussies. Can't stand those bastards. But yeah, man, Detroit Lions number 4. After that, I really gotta think about this one because I don't want to just give it to everybody. San Francisco 49ers, who I also can't stand because in the 80s they would eliminate the Bears, and in modern day they're eliminating the Cowboys. So two of my teams are always eliminated by the 49ers. Can't stand them, but look, I know how you guys feel about Brock Purdy, or I know how Shahan feels about Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's a goddamn dog. He is a goddamn dog. Don't want to hear it. They re-sign Ayuk. They virtually are having the same defense. I think Dre Greenlaw is not going to be playing much next year because of the torn Achilles that he had in the Super Bowl. But look, there's still a complete team, a complete roster. Kyle Shanahan was one boneheaded mistake play call away from winning the damn Super Bowl. The CMC to Trent Williams, that run behind Trent Williams is the most efficient play in football. Had he done that,
I don't think it's one. That's the only reason I made that face. I don't think it's just one bad play call. I think there was a lot of times where he could have relied on CMC. Yeah. I'm agreeing with you. What I'm saying is, like, I think there could have been multiple play calls where, hey, hand it to CMC, don't let Brock. And anyways, it's all said and done in the past.
But that was the deciding factor, that play right there. And I think that they should have ran the ball instead of passing, which they passed, and it was sacked for a big loss. But whatever. So yes, San Francisco. I mean, they're always going to be atop of that conversation. Now, this is where I become a Joe Shiesty homer.
Oh, we got bangers too. Oh, yeah,
wow.
Woo! It's some favoritism to the podcast because I'm trying to get you guys to like me a little bit. You feel me? I want you to like you.
Shut up.
I don't trust the Ravens. Okay. I never do. I'm a big Lamar fan. I don't trust the Jets. Rodgers is too busy with ayahuasca and playing on no freaking ankles. Like, I don't trust anyone else out of the AFC. The Bills they're in bad shape. Losing Milano. Yeah, losing Milano. They lost they lost all their wide receivers. They're expecting to get something out of Keon Coleman and Kincaid, I believe. And Khalil Shakir. But Coleman, I think, is going to be an absolute bust. And I'm not saying that because I don't like the guy or whatever. Like, he's very entertaining, but he, like, analytically speaking, from a wide receiver from college to translating that to the pro game, he does not seem like the archetype of player that does well right out the gate or even at all. To me, he's a poor man's Brandon Marshall, but without any of Brandon Marshall's great abilities yet. He's a good contested catcher. No separation. Stiff as hell in the hips. Not a big fan of Keon Coleman. But yeah, I can't see anyone else from the AFC like really like threatening anybody in the league. Joe Burrow is that damn good. And he's been healthy so far, knock on wood. Hopefully he doesn't get injured or anything like that throughout the season. And if he stays healthy, he's going to be challenging Patrick Mahomes in the AFC title game. And Patrick Mahomes, who is my number one team, is the Chiefs. And for why? Because they're two-time returning Super Bowl champions.
You can't argue against that.
It's the Kansas City Invitational and everyone's invited. So there's not much more to say about the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, I'm a big Mahomes guy. I already call him the GOAT. He's the greatest I've ever seen. When it comes to eye test, winning, like accolades, he's there for me. So he doesn't have the 7 rings, but I don't think we're that far off. And I don't think he even needs 7 rings to be the greatest of all time. So that's just me. But yeah, Patrick Mahomes, he's the ultimate multiplier. If they have an old team that is rebuilding, even in their rebuild years, he was so transcendent that don't gotta worry about anything else. He's special for Mahomes. So yeah, man.
All right.
That's my top 5.
Quickly wrapping up Wase's top 5. It was the
Cowboys, the fucking Lions. Number 3 were the 49ers. Joe Shiesty and the Bengals at number 2, and then my homeboy at number.
All righty.
Fair enough.
Geff, we'll pass it on to you. Geff's top 5 power rankings before the season starts.
Yeah. This is in the interest of time. I'll make it pretty easy. I'll start from top to bottom. It's my style nowadays. Go with
nice.
Kansas City. I think all of us universally agree. Kansas City number 1. You don't win it 2 times in a row and have me talk shit. So Kansas City number 1. Number 2, I actually have as the 49ers. I don't think they've lost anything for me to sit there and be like, all right, they can't make it back. And the NFC is pretty weak. So cool. I'll give it to the 49ers. Number 3, a team that I think we haven't talked about much, but we probably will this season. Houston Texans. CJ Stroud. That offense is just completely ramped up. If it hasn't been ramped up, defense is being solidified. So don't sleep on Houston. Number 4, this is kind of where it gets mixed up. Fuck. Let's go ahead and throw my Bengals in at 4, right? I got to throw them in somehow. So for a team that basically had no QB for the second half of the season, they still came out with a winning record. And before that, they were tearing it up. So as long as everyone remains healthy to a certain degree, I don't see why they can't be in the top 5. Number 5 is kind of where it's anyone's ball game. So I'm going to throw the team that I repped a lot last season, everyone that I was crazy with until things happen. It's the fucking Detroit Lions. So I put them in my rankings pretty high in this year. I think I put them in like week 5. And freaking Hamza's like, oh, you're so stupid. Well, screw you, Hamza. I was sorry. I think it was Asad Mortiwala. Screw you too, Asad. So
take a shot
I'm taking shots at everyone right now. Recap. We got Kansas City Chiefs, followed by the 49ers, followed by Houston, Cincinnati Bengals, and then Detroit Lions.
Wase, your thoughts?
Why do you not like Houston?
I'm curious as to why you don't like Houston.
They played one of the weakest schedules last year. CJ Stroud was
great. It's not a rookie QB. Easy schedule.
They were great, and CJ Stroud had one of the greatest rookie seasons ever. I just feel like this is like the perfect sophomore slump regression season for him because now he's facing real talent. I mean, they've revamped their team. They got Daniil Hunter. They've made great moves. I could be wrong. I'm just not. CJ Stroud is great, but I don't think he's going to be great next year. That's just my.
I think they did enough to help CJ have not have a sophomore slump. Right, obviously bringing in
Joe Mixon,
but Joe Mixon obviously helps, and then throwing it, like you said, throwing in Daniil Hunter, and then letting D'Amico Ryan spend on that defense. That's exactly what they needed. Yeah. So we'll see. Wrapping it up with my power rankings. So I'll do it top to bottom. I think number 1's a no-brainer. Kansas City, obviously back-to-back Super Bowl champs. You have to beat Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelce does not die. They just keep getting better in receivers. Somehow they keep winning without Tyreek Hill. They are winning with guys like Rashee Rice and Juju Smith-Schuster, and they bring in Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown. So Patrick Mahomes has all the weapons and toys and bells and whistles at his disposal. And then I think someone that doesn't get talked enough about for the Chiefs is Spagnuolo in that defense. I think a lot of people, it's easy to put the spotlight on Patrick Mahomes and Kelce in the offense and Isaiah Pacheco. But Spags, that defense just blitzes the hell out of you. Chris Jones, last year I said it with Geff. I think he was my Super Bowl MVP, and we both agree that he probably should have won MVP for the Super Bowl, just in terms of his impact on that team. And then getting rid of L'Jarius Sneed and still being able to build a top defense. I just think it's impressive, and people should give their flowers to Spags. So that has the Kansas City Chiefs at number 1. My number 2 team going into the season is a team that I didn't give a lot of credit to last year, but eventually they won me over, and now I'm riding the wave. The Detroit Lions are my number 2 team in terms of power ranking.
Okay.
Very high up there. Very, very high up there. But it is in terms of what they did in the offseason, somewhat to what Wase alluded to. BJ Reader and Marcus Davenport. The only reason I'm really big on those 2 signings isn't because of the guys that they brought. It's because it also helped in an area that they were really kind of mid at. They were 16th in pass rush. So, yeah, Hutch is a dog and he gets pass rush pressure. But when you have a guy in Davenport, if he stays healthy, as long as he's getting pressure, and then you got DJ Reader up the middle and Hutch on the other side, huge boost in the pass rush game. And then on the flip side to that is they were 29th in coverage. And I think something that no one's talking about is Terrion Arnold. I think he's going to be a rookie that starts right away, and he brings a dog mentality to that defense on the cornerback side. So 2 issues that they had last year, they tackled in offseason and draft, and it's a good way for a team to build. They continuously to build up. Laporta, Gibbs, Amon-Ra, Jameson Williams, like they continuously to hit on their draft picks and offseason, and it's just a great way to see it. I'm not sold on Dan Campbell being a number 1 coach. I just think they have so much talent on that roster that it no-brainer is probably one of the more talented teams in the NFL, and that gives me the number 2 with that. I say just pissed off. Can't even hate
number
on
2.
Yeah, number 2.
Insane.
Number 3, I have the San Francisco 49ers. As much as I hate the San Francisco 49ers, they are what they are. They're a powerhouse. They churn out talent. They know what they're doing. They really have no worries. I think one thing that we need to pay attention to is, I can never say his name, but Lafunga, Halapui Lafunga. Yeah, he's coming back at safety. Hopefully he's healthy this year, and he is a big game tackler, and I think that helps out a lot on their defensive side. It's really just can the Niners, if they get to the Super Bowl, can they beat the Chiefs? That's what it's been all year long. It's not even a question of can the Niners get to the NFC Championship at this point. Is can they win in the Super Bowl, which is insane to say. But I have the Niners at number 3. I think that's respectful. 4 and 5, I struggled a lot because there were at some points I wanted to throw in the Texans in there. Because I have been a big fan of what the Texans did this offseason, especially on the defensive side, which I mentioned. But at number 4, I'm going to throw in the Baltimore Ravens. It is weird to say that when a team A loses its defensive coordinator, who is a top defensive coordinator in Mike McDonald, and then B loses almost 12-ish, maybe 11 players, and they swap them out, Geno Stone being one of them, going to the Bengals. Yet, they are still just a powerhouse of a team. I know it's shiny to say Derrick Henry, but Lamar's a 2-time MVP. As much as you want to hate him in his throwing game and passing game, and I have been very critical in his passing game. I think me and Wase are on the same page there sometimes that Lamar isn't the greatest passer. But just how electric and dynamic he is with his legs and sometimes with his arms, it works out. And then when you get Zay Flowers back, you get Mark Andrews back, you get Derrick Henry. I think this is like the next 2 years for the Ravens. Really is win it or go home. Did we lose Giff there for a second? Okay. I'll wrap up my power rankings real quick, which is funny because number 5, I have the Bengals. We lost. The Bengals even last year with oh my God, who was their backup quarterback? I forgot. Jake Browning, thank you. Even with Jake Browning, they finished 16th in passing yards. Imagine what they're going to do with health Joe Burrow. I agree with you guys. It's Jamar Chase is back, hopefully. T. Higgins is back. Joe Burrow is there, healthy. Me and Giff are huge Jermaine Burton fans, as you are as well. I think he's an over the top guy. Line him up within slot, let him go deep, beat some nickel corner out there, and just jump high point it and pluck it out. So big fan of what the Bengals are doing. And then I understand your hesitation with Lou. But I think the talent on the defensive side and adding in Geno Stone from the division rival Ravens really gives them a plus on that aspect. It's just health. Can the Bengals stay healthy? And so I have them at number 5. So my top 5 in power rankings goes Kansas City, Detroit, San Francisco, Baltimore, Cincinnati.
I just don't fucking like the Lions, bro. At number 2, the Lions?
Yeah, I think sorry, we're trying to get Gift back. This is really embarrassing. I think just, again, with what I said, as the season starts right now, I know that will change. I know they will maybe drop to 5 in my power rankings and maybe even drop out of my top 5 in the power rankings. But as the season is starting right now, I think talent-wise, off-season transactions with draft and free agency, they tackled a lot of the issues that were holding them back defensively. And then re-signing some of those offensive linemen that you mentioned, it's just, hey, we're not missing a step. And Ben Johnson is a phenomenal offensive coordinator, and I think they're really stout on defense finally. So, and then they also signed Carlton Davis, a good veteran corner to help out there. Yeah, trade.
Look, the 49ers spotted them 21 points, and like, hey, 8.5, and they're like, that's all we need, and came back and still beat them. So,
Again,
fuck the Lions. I don't like them. Yeah,
we'll see. Everything I said was defense, so they fixed their defense. So spot them 21 again and see what happens.
I mean, I don't think Terry Arnold's gonna be that great, in my opinion. I mean, I think I had him as like in my top 5 corners, but I think he was like 4th, and I think I had Rakestraw at 5th or 6th. I forget what I had him at.
Well, they got Rakestraw.
Yeah. So
they tackled that cornerback position kind of the same way the Eagles did. How he sees an issue, he says, kill it with fire. So they get Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. And the Lions did the same thing.
Think when they doubled down on a cornerback draft, that had depth, but it's like they reached for Terry Arnold, in my opinion, and then they got Rakestraw when they could have added somebody else or a wide receiver of some sort, because Jameson Williams, I'm sorry to say, is a freaking bust. I don't know why this love for Jameson Williams out there from people all over the world, but Jameson Williams is such a goddamn bust. Oh my God. We got to stop talking about him like he's a dog or a playmaker. He's not. Like, we can all have a good game, whether it's the playoffs or the preseason. Jameson Williams sucks.
I would not stand by this. I would not stand by this Jameson Williams slander. No.
One good year at Bama. And he's all of a sudden like,
he was
he's like a top-notch player. No, man. He's too busy gambling, and he's too busy being hurt all the damn time, so he's not available either. So after the Lions and after them, and their fucking team, goddamn.
I know. I'm glad I know which teams trigger Wase. That's going to be the most fun part. Packers, Lions,
Packers,
Eagles.
Division, basically.
Yeah, my division doesn't even trigger me that much. Okay, so Kev, if you missed it, my power rankings were real quickly the Chiefs, Lions, the Niners, the Ravens, and at number 5, it is your Cincinnati Bengals.
Good enough. That'll do for now. It's preseason. It's all up in the air.
Thanks for your approval. Okay, I am going to pass it over to Geff, because Geff, as he does every year, he takes care of our season predictions.
Yep.
And while he brings up the Week 1 schedule, I just realized this takes into consideration, Wase, if you haven't listened and followed along long enough, me and Geff have a bet called the Stake Bet. And what it is, at the end of the year, whoever has the higher win or the better win-loss record gets a free steak meal from the other. We'll figure out how to incorporate you into this, but that is what is on the line, is a free steak meal.
Yep. We'll continue with that bet this year. Whatever. If we end up losing to Wase, we'll send them money for some shitty steakhouse in Chicago. It's fine.
No, that's going to be the best one. $200. Me and my wife.
$200? Damn.
Unless, I mean, we'll figure
pretty cheap there.
I mean, at this point, Gas lost to me 2 years in a row, so he just doesn't want to lose.
It's a tax write-off at this part most of the time for me. So, all right.
Take it away.
We'll basically, I'll go through the games real quick. Just give me who you're going to win. I don't need an explanation. We'll figure that out after week 1. We'll figure out a better cadence for this, and we'll make it pretty easy. Unless it's a decent argument, though, we can talk. All right. NFL season kicks off Thursday night for anyone who's been underneath a rock. The NFL pretty much looked at the schedule and said, I'm going to make you guys. I'm not going to say the word for younger viewers, but you should know. We're going to go ahead and start off with a rematch of the AFC Championship game. The Ravens are heading over to Burrowhead, playing the Chiefs Thursday night. I guess Shahan, if you want to go first and Wase, then I'll give mine.
Yeah, give me the Chiefs. I think the Ravens have a little bit they need to figure out in the first go run. So Chiefs are humming. They're cruising. They don't have much change.
Chiefs.
Yep.
Think so. The Lions beat the Chiefs last year. I know there's no explanation. I'm just trying to rationalize in my head. I think
that's an explanation.
The Chiefs. Let's go Chiefs.
Yeah, I would love to see a Ravens revenge game, but I don't know. Just not seeing it. So I'll go with Chiefs as well. Who are we to discount the two-time defending NFL champions? So
back to back.
All right. And then as a thank you to us, the NFL gave us a Peacock game. So anyone who doesn't have Peacock, please download it or borrow it from a friend. The Packers are playing the Eagles in Brazil. And somehow the Packers are being allowed to use the color green, which apparently was a whole hot topic of gang violence. So
I'm surprised they chose two teams.
Actually, no, it wasn't. The thing is, like, the rival team that plays in that stadium wears green, so
you're not allowed to wear green.
Not gang violence. There's misinformation everywhere.
I'm surprised they actually picked two teams that wear green, which is hilarious.
It's funny as part.
This is where I will be out of spite. Although I do not hate the Philadelphia Eagles, I hate how good Harry Roseman is. I think the Eagles have a good roster, but out of spite, I will pick the Green Bay Packers because I am that big of a Jordan Love fan.
All right. Packers for you.
It sucks. I'm a Cowboys fan and Bears fan.
These are the two QBs you hate.
With a burning passion. Two teams that I hate too. So, I mean, I hate the Packers more because I'm a Bears fan first. So I'm going to go with the Eagles. The Eagles take that game.
All right.
Is anything nice by anybody?
I think I'm going to go ahead and stick with the Packers. They have less to figure out. The Eagles, as well as they drafted with their two cornerbacks, we'll have to figure out how they can play versus real game. So give me the Packers on this one as well. All right, moving on to Sunday, our early bird game, starting off with the Steelers heading over to the Falcons.
Man, this is fun. Steelers-Falcons. Can Kirk Cousins hold up against the Steelers defense? And what the hell is the Steelers offense going to do against pretty decent Falcons? I'm going to go with the Falcons.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Falcons. Yeah. I think Falcons improved their defense a little bit.
Same thing with me. Very anti-Justin Fields, and Russ is washed, so I'm going to go with the Falcons.
I'll agree. I'm going to go with Falcons too. Watch out for Bijan Robinson basically saying, hello, I'm back, and starting off his fantasy very well for his owners. Okay, moving on.
Shout out Darnell Mooney.
Heading off to the Cardinals, going all the way over to the Bills.
Yeah, it's going to be a rocky road for Kyler Murray in Buffalo for week 1, even though it won't be snowing or anything like that. But hard to test the new toy in Marvin Harrison Jr. all the way in Buffalo. So I'm gonna take Buffalo. I think the run game will shine a lot in Buffalo.
Yeah, Josh Allen's my number 3 quarterback in the league. So quarterback usually most of the time wins against mid teams. So
yeah.
Cardinals are building something, but it's not their year. Yeah, probably a top 10 pick.
Let's see. I have the Bills as well, but I don't think that this is not going to be a welcome party for Marvin Harrison Jr. I think there's a defense to go up against that isn't as nasty as some of the others. Might as well go up against the Bills. But I think overall offense with the Bills will probably have the better game. So Bills as well across the board. Okay. Mm-hmm. Moving on. We have the Tennessee Titans and their brand new head coach, Will Levis, and his recently leaked video over the offseason and a bunch more other things. Heading over to Wase's Chicago Bears in the start of the Caleb Williams era.
I will steal the thunder. No, I'm joking. As much as I like what the Titans are doing, signing Brian Callahan's son, is it Bill Callahan? Yeah. So they're doing the right thing, but I don't think that first game is going to be their mark. Give me Chicago. I think Chicago is going to have a bunch of hype to end Chicago. Yes. Give me Chicago. I think Caleb has a good game. Yes.
Yeah, I'm also the same. I think it's gonna be a lot closer though. I think it's like 23-17. Bears win. Caleb has an okay game, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, maybe a fumble.
Maybe a rushing touchdown.
But yeah, maybe a rushing touchdown. Yeah. But I have the Bears winning, but it's gonna be a welcome moment in a situation for Caleb. That's a good secondary they got there, Tennessee. So
it is.
I think this is one of the more trash games of the weekend, but it's okay. We learned last season that trash games end up being the most fun games to watch. So a lot of great storylines in this game. I think the media is going to overcover Caleb Williams in every single first down run that he has. But because of that, we'll start off the season very well with the Bears win. So give me the Bears as well. But wait for that. I cannot stand how this hype train is going to continue if they win. But so be it.
How pissed
down for Caleb.
The hater no.
Yeah.
Wase Siddiqui has a burn book, but I'm on like 4 pages.
Goddamn hater.
Okay. How bad would it be if Will Levis beats Caleb Williams?
Bad? It's not gonna be bad. I mean, think about all the number 1 quarterbacks that have played games. The past. I looked at this the other day actually, and generally most lose. Mm-hmm. Most lose and have bad games. Like we played Andrew Luck when he came out. Yeah, we played Andrew Luck in his first game, and he threw 3 picks and he had a lot of yards, but they got rocked. So if they lose, it's not the end of the world for me. I mean, I have them winning 8 or 9 games. This is the one game of the first 4 games that I have them winning, and I have them going 1-3 the first 4 games. So
I mean, If there is a game for a rookie QB to have to start off, I mean the Titans is a good team to have it with. So you're not going up against Kansas City or anyone with an elite defense.
It's a good defense, but it's not great, and it's a good offense, but it's not great. Yeah. So I think it's a good matchup.
Yeah,
let's keep it moving.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the last 12. Oh no, there's a couple more. Sorry. Moving on to Patriots and.
Bengals.
And the Bengals, yeah. Patriots and their new head coach, Gerard Mayo, sticking with Jacoby Brissett rather than their first-round pick and Drake May, are heading to the Cincinnati Bengals.
I really wish it was Drake May, but I am a fan of do not start your rookie quarterback. So with that being said, it's Jacoby Brissett. Yeah, the Patriots defense is going to be good, but it is Joey B. It is T. Higgins. It is hopefully Jamar Chase. And then lose defense against the Patriots. Give me the Bengals. Easy chop.
Same for everything Shahan said. Thank God they're not starting Drake May this game. That's all I could say. Happy for him. I think he's going to be great too eventually. But keep him out of this game and keep him clean and not see any ghosts like Sam Bernal did once upon a time. So
all I can say is thank the Lord for a healthy Joe Burrow starting off the season for once, and I hope that shows very quickly. So you guys already know it's the Bengals for me. Okay, moving on to a divisional matchup. I always love a divisional match to start the year.
Great.
Texans heading over to the Colts. So this could have honestly, if Anthony Richardson would have played out the entire season, this could have been like who actually is the better quarterback.
Rookie.
We'll see now.
This is a great matchup. I know Wase does not like Anthony Richardson. I'm on the Anthony Richardson hype train. I do think he has a lot to work on, especially throwing in the middle of the field. Yes, he has the deep ball, but man, some of those middle of the field throws, his anticipation is not there. Floats him, sails him. But I think he's a good quarterback, and he is a project, though, so bear with it, Colts fan. There's going to be a lot of hate towards Anthony Richardson this season, but I think if he shows progress as the season goes, something to build on. But it does not take away from my man last year, who I was always hyped about, was CJ Stroud. Give me the Texans. I'm a big Texans fan. Just the way they built.
Yeah, if there's a play caller that can develop a mid quarterback to being an MVP quarterback, it's Shane Steichen.
Yes,
did that with Jalen Hurts. I don't like Anthony Richardson. You're right. He's like Cam, but not nearly as good as Cam. They have a great team though, and Latu Latu to add to that defense, that was a great defensive line as well too last year. Solid pick. They're gonna be a good team, but I don't think not because of their offense, but I think obviously the Texans. It's gonna be hard to bet against the Texans every week. So
yeah, I think experience is probably the factor in this game. So give me Houston as well. I wish I could say Anthony Richardson is still on that hype train for me, but I heard his camp was awful.
Yeah, he has work.
I've been paying attention to that camp since the Bengals went over there, and if you have the Bengals defense chirping at you that you don't even throw the ball, let alone trying to throw the ball, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
He has a lot of work, but I think.
But he has a healthy JT, so rely on your run game. See what happens.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Jaguars are heading over to the Dolphins for a nice little Florida matchup.
Battle in South Florida, I guess. No, just give me Miami. It's chalk up. It's nothing against Jacksonville. I just don't think they're at the caliber of Miami even this season. So, yeah, give me Miami.
Same. Yeah, I'm with Miami as well, too. I do like one of their picks in Jacksonville, though. Mason Smith. He was my guy from, last couple of years. I was really excited about him for his ACL, but I think he's going to be – I call him in my draft list, the steal of the draft. He had some Chris Jones to him, so I'm just excited to see him play. But other than that, it's Miami.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, Dolphins for me, too. I think that'll actually be a fun matchup, but I think Dolphins will probably pull away somewhere in the second half. Mike McDaniel always has a little tweak here and there. It's the beginning of the season, so you literally have no idea what's up his sleeve. So good luck at that point. Okay. Moving on to the Panthers heading over to the Saints. This is actually my trash matchup overall. But
yeah, it's a division game. It should be fun. This is what I get excited about, the trash division matchups. I'm not going to say a fan. I am going to be watching the Carolina Panthers project all season long. I think Dave Canales is a great hire as a head coach. He did wonders with Baker Mayfield there in Tampa Bay.
And Gino.
And Gino in Seattle. So I think if anyone is out there that could help out Bryce Young, it is Dave Canales, and bringing him as a head coach is great. They rebolstered that offensive line, which was terrible last year before Bryce Young ran for his life. And then trading for Deontay Johnson, drafting Xavier Legette, giving him weapons. I think the Panthers are going to be more fun to watch than last year. So with that being said, I don't see any hype in New Orleans. I don't think Derek Carr is going to finish the season as the starter. I think Spencer Rattler will take over at some point. There's not really much to build on in New Orleans. Give me the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, thanks.
So after we had our way with the Panthers with that glorious trade for number 1 overall on Caleb Williams, we still have their second round pick this year, so I need them to be bad, and I still think they will be bad. They lost too many pieces. They overpaid Robert Hunt. They got some solid pieces offensively. Deontay Johnson, just to name them, but I don't think Xavier Legette's going to be good either. I don't believe in super senior wide receivers. But they're going to be bad, and I like what I'm hoping for this game to be interesting is that Spencer Rattler comes in over Derek Carr after Derek Carr has a bad half. Yeah, I want Spencer Rattler to Caleb Williams, Derek Carr, which would be really, really nice. Because he came in for the red rival, okay. I want him to come in. I want him to get Spencer Rattler. So it'd be fun to watch. It'd be a cool storyline.
Yeah,
I'm going to say.
Yeah. I really don't know with this one, and I'm gonna be 100%. I don't know shit about the Saints right now. I have not heard one headline outside of Spencer Rattler.
Spencer Rattler.
So because of that reason, I'm actually going to stick with the Panthers. Just fuck it. Wow. See what happens. Right? It's week 1. I'll make some risks this week. Okay, moving on for the final game, the early slate. Vikings heading over to New York to play the Giants.
Giants suck so bad. I see no progress for the Giants whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's not even a Daniel Jones thing. I don't think. I think Dable's a good coach. I don't think he's a good coach for New York. That's it. So I think Giants just go down guns ablazing, and even with Sam Darnold in Minnesota, you have Justin Jefferson, you have Aaron Jones, you have I think Jordan Addison should be playing week 1, but you have a guy in their head coach that got wins with Josh Dobbs, so I think he can get some wins with Sam Darnold. Give me Minnesota. Giants side.
Okay.
Might be a toss-up, but I got Minnesota also.
Yeah, Giants.
I don't want to delve too much into this shitty ass matchup. But, they might be. They're on the Carson Beck train.
Yeah, they are. Carson, they are. He's not great. Anyways,
give me the Vikings too. The Giants just have nothing. Malik Neighbors is about it. And their defense. I'll give their defensive line credit. Their defensive line stacked.
Andrew Thomas.
But there's only so long as a defense you can hold on while your QB is throwing pick sixes from his own end zone in a preseason game. So
Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, Andrew Thomas, they're not going to hold up if Daniel Jones is not putting points on them.
Exactly. All right. Moving on to a divisional game to start off the afternoon slate. Raiders. And Aiden O'Connell, I think, heading over to the Chargers. And I don't even think Herbo's playing. I think it's going to be Mason Easton Stick or whatever the hell his name. Yeah, never mind. This is my trashiest trash matchup.
Is it going to be Easton Stick? I hope it's not.
I don't know who their backup is.
It is Easton Stick. That's not. Should be.
Okay, so if it is, never mind. Then Herbo. Anyways, go ahead, Sean.
If it's Herbert, now you threw me off. I have been reading that it was Herbert all along. But if it's Herbert, give me the Chargers. If we later find out that it's Easton Stick, then give me the Raiders.
Okay.
Simple as that. I think everyone across the board feels the same way. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have Minshew and Devontae Adams. Like, Zamir White is a guy that I like on the Raiders a lot. I think he's... Yeah.
Okay. Herbo is good to go. Sorry. I apologize.
Okay, so give me the Chargers.
Yep. Chargers as well. Welcome back, Jim Harbaugh. Hopefully,
welcome back, Jim.
Maybe you hire Connors to sell in. It's where the hell is man? Get some, get some cheating going on. Anyways,
we'll see how Greg Roman's offense works. But yes, welcome.
Okay, moving on. Broncos. Bo Nix getting the start, going up to Seattle. Saying hello to Mike McDonald and his intro as the new head man in Seattle.
I am a Bo Nix fan. I'm not a Sean Payton fan anymore. So, with that being said, give me Seattle. I just love everything Mike McDonald does. I think what he has done with that Ravens defense and that Rex Ryan playbook is phenomenal. And he's going to introduce that to Seattle. And he has some weapons and toys to play with in Seattle. Give me Seattle. I think their defense is going to be really good this year.
Okay.
Yeah. Bo's going to be seeing ghosts.
Yeah. Give me Seattle too, just defensively. I mean, it's going to be tough. It's going to be real tough. Like Wase was saying, the stats for rookie QBs in their first start is not great, especially when you're going up against one of the more elite defensive minds in the league. So Good luck. In Seattle too, which, I mean, once again, good luck with the noise.
12th man. Let's go.
Okay, and coming to our next matchup, which I think is actually very interesting, Cowboys. Shahans and Wase, part A, B, I don't know, side team.
They can
are
be all
heading
three
up north, actually. They're not playing at home, and they're heading up to Cleveland to play the Browns. And I like this. I like this matchup a lot, actually.
I like the matchup in terms of as a football fan, but as a Cowboys fan, I think this is a shitty way to start the season. It is, in my opinion, it's not a fantasy one, but number one defense is the Cleveland Browns. They are disgusting with everything they have on their D-line and corners and safeties. No. I think though, on the flip side, Cowboys defense, it's not better. It's hard to say just as good, but it is good. I think they will give Deshaun Watson hell. I'm not a Deshaun Watson fan. I think he's trash. So with that being with that being said, give me the Dallas Cowboys. I have them winning in Cleveland, and I think Dak will have a good game against that Cleveland defense with even as good as it is. But Tyler Guyton, welcome to the league. You have to deal with Miles fucking Garrett.
What a welcome. Holy shit.
Yeah, what a welcome to the league. So give me Dallas then. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah. I think Diggs gets picked. Oh, he's picking Cleveland. He's picking Cleveland.
I'm so conflicted right now.
He hates Cleveland too. Bengals fan. He's like, and you know your Cowboys are like at least your third favorite team. So just pick Dallas.
Give me the Browns. All right, moving on. Look, I just think week one.
Yeah, this is why I get steak. Yes.
No, week one it's always a defensive advantage, right? So give me the fucking Browns.
It's a valid.
Let me just throw this: if you can't run the ball and you expect your pass game to do something against two rookie, come on, just think about it. It's the Browns, and they fucking suck. But give me this one, Brown. Yeah, all right, heading off to our last one of the afternoon slate. Commanders heading over to Tampa Bay and playing the Bucks.
I am a Jaden Daniels fan. I will be watching a lot of the Commanders games. So weirdly enough, yes, I'm a Cowboys fan, but I will watch a lot of Commanders games. I don't think this is going to be Jaden Daniels' first win. I think Baker and the Bucks, they're churning on offense, and so they'll just plug in and play everything else like they've done. I know they lose Dave Canales, but they're a playoff team. They won a playoff game last year. Give me the Bucks. Yes.
Give me the Bucks as well. I think Jaden Daniels will look up to Baker Mayfield as a role model. One Heisman to another, coming from two shitty teams. So use the model. Maybe appreciate what Baker went through, and you'll learn. But Bucks for me as well.
You died so I could walk.
All right. Moving on to Sunday Night Football, the reunion part 2 is what I'm going to call it. Rams heading over to Lions. Jared Goff coming back home. Jared Goff welcoming Matthew Stafford back home. The Detroit crowd, if you guys remember from the playoff game from last year, was absolutely phenomenal. And they did not give Goff any they did not give Stafford any love. So I fucking love that. Everyone's always hoping for like that hero's welcome back. Fuck it, it's the playoffs. You're gonna get an easy environment. So with that, Rams Lions.
I think if it was not the playoffs, it would have been more welcoming. But the fact that it was the playoffs, it's like, yeah, sorry, Matt. Right and high. They're my number 2 team. Come on, guys. Give me the Lions. Like, why would I pick them? Not pick them. I think there's still some work that the Rams need to do. And then, like I said, everything I said in the power rankings, Lions they're cooking with fire. So I like the Lions. I hear your notes. Yep. It's all about steak, man. Yeah. No, you're good. Hey, this is uncensored, uncut season 3.
Mm-hmm. Give me the Lions. They're at home. I love it. Rams gonna be sneaky good though this season, but tough game against Lions at home. The Lions have now proven that playing at home is finally an advantage for them. So, give me the Lions. And all right, moving on. We'll wrap up this episode. Last game to start off Week 1. Aaron Rodgers, welcome back. Please last more than 7 plays. And the Jets heading over to San Francisco, playing Shahan's favorite player in the league, Brock Purdy.
Does Aaron Rodgers last running out to the field, or the GIF or meme that we see? Man, I think the Jets defense is really good, really, really good, and I think they are going to give Brock Purdy and the Niners some fits. Don't know if they're going to stop Christian McCaffrey. It really depends on the Jets' offense. Can they put enough points on the board against the Niners? This is going to be a feelings one, and screw the Niners. Give me the Jets. I just got to do it. Screw the
Jets.
Niners.
Okay.
I don't care if I take an L on this one. So damn good. Yeah. While he thinks, Kev, are you ready?
We're debating. He's gonna make it.
It's so sad, man. Jesus. You're not wrong. Yeah. So. Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Wow. Okay, I wasn't expecting that.
I was not either. Someone who loves Brock Purdy and gave me a shitstorm for all the Brock Purdy praise. You're picking the Jets. Yeah, you better say that as a Bears fan. Eat it.
I think this game is the perfect. Both teams kind of had opposite seasons, right? Jets just absolutely. I mean, they had nothing going for them, right? The 49ers took off as they were expected to do. So for me, adversity speaks a lot. I think the Jets went through a shitstorm last year to even make it to the end of the season. So look out for all that anger. Look out for all that shit talking that they had last year. Comes alive in this game. And give me the Jets, man. Let it be a statement game for everyone. Across the board, 3
all
Jets.
3.
What the fuck?
Don't be don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
This could have
we literally
have you ever watched the movie Ford versus Ferrari where they all like cross the finish line at the same time? That could have been us.
Yeah. We literally could have had Jets.
Yeah.
Jets.
Anyway, Sean, wrap up this podcast. Now I'm not in the mood.
Yes.
Wrap this up.
Yes, Kev usually wraps up. Now he's on. Okay, so that was our preseason preview. We introduced Wase. He is going to be joining the show from here on out. It is going to be a different format. If you haven't seen it yet, I'll be posting it on social media, our new format of the episodes, what it's going to be consisting of. It is a lot going on. We will have some live streams throughout the year. Like I said, Wase is joining us. Gef is back. I am back. We are ready for some fucking football. Let's go. We'll see y'all later. This has been the Talk Your Game podcast.
Get out.